Well, let's be honest, shall we? When was the last time you actually checked your automation? Or maybe your emails are going out to the wrong people? Hmm? Or maybe links just don't seem to be working? Or are you losing clients and you don't even realize it? Well, today I'm going to share with you the top 6 automation mistakes that is costing you sales, trust, and also that valuable time. And also how to fix them. So drop a thumbs up if you're here with me live, or if you're on the replay, type replay. And let's kick off, as always, with our theme song as we wait for all our VIPs to join us in the Voz.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. You always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Shine, go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine, shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine.
Hello, beautiful people. How are you out there in the big wide world? If you don't know me, I'm Sally Sparks Cousins. I'm your automation nerd, and I love to simplify systems and save you time. And welcome to Strategy with Sally. I am in a totally different location right now. I'm up in Sydney with Jackie, and it's been so awesome being able to catch up and be IRL together, which does not happen very often. But this is Strategy with Sally. It's your weekly dose of systems and automation and also GSD. So today we're covering something that will affect every single business owner out there using automation, and it is automation mistakes that are costing you clients. And I'm going to show you some ways in which you can fix them fast. Now, today you're going to walk away with 6 of the biggest mistakes, and you'll learn how they are actually affecting your business, how to spot them, and also how to fix them as well. Of course, we've got to get some GSD in there. So comment below the word auto if you are ready to use automation in your business. Now, this Strategy with Sally, this happens same time every single week. So make sure that you follow the channel and, turn on those notifications so that you don't miss any of our weekly live streams. And also, if you're a VIP, come on into the VOZ where we will also be answering questions at the end of every Strategy with Sally. I just hang out. Well, we go dark here on the live stream, but I hang out here and I will stay until all questions are answered. All right, so let's get stuck into today's comment, which is all about automation mistakes. Now, automation, it's actually supposed to save us lots and lots of time. But what people do is, if you don't set it up properly, it can actually be one, costing you time, and even worse, it can be costing you money. You see, most of the time, what people tend to do is turn it on and then just forget that it's even there, or they never test what they've actually built, or they overbuild the system, and then that just confuses you and your leads. Instead of them helping them, they just get maybe way too many emails. And then that in itself can cost you trust with those potential prospects and also clients. So tell me, let's be honest, put it in the chat for me. Have you ever got a lead and then kind of ghosted them, right? And after maybe an automation fails, you fail to follow up properly. So drop a little ghost for me in the chat if you sometimes can be a ghoster of your leads. So, however, when you get automation set up and it's done right, what it's actually going to allow you to do is to follow up instantly. Also, to stay consistent and to scale your business without burnout. But when it's messy, or even worse, it's broken, you're literally going to be leaking leads at all sides of your funnel. So today I'm going to walk you through 6 different automation mistakes that I see quite a lot, so that you can audit them and set up your system right from the start. Or if you've already got a system, maybe you can jump in and fix them today. So let's go through those 6 automation mistakes. The first one is set and forget. So what happens here is a lot of business owners will build an automation once, and they will turn it on, and they just then never look at it again. 6 months later, maybe they'll realize that links are broken, or that offer that they had is now out of date, and they're still sending out maybe Happy New Year's emails in July. So, this happens as your business, continues to evolve. Your automation, it should as well. So a forgotten workflow, it can actually lead to dead ends, errors, and really a terrible first impression. For example, if you're running a challenge that ended months ago, but the opt-in is still out there and it's live and people are opting in, and you're delivering emails that no longer match whatever your current marketing strategy is, that can be embarrassing, and also it can be costly as well. So what I recommend you do, the fix for this one, is to set a reminder to review any key automations every single month. So use a checklist as well to test your links, look through your emails and make sure that, the timing of those emails are also going out regularly as well. So once a month, sit down, look through all of those workflows and just check, are they still up to date or should I switch those off? Now, the second mistake that I see a lot of people make is they just jump into the tools like OmniSab, right? They start building a sequence without actually thinking about the entire customer journey. And you rely on just logic rather than actual strategy. So that mistake is automating before you actually map it out. Now, the reason why this is a problem is you can end up with a really disconnected automation that doesn't actually guide your lead to the next logical step. This might be like they receive an upsell offer before they've even opted in properly, or maybe they never actually get a link to your automated booking calendar link. So another example of that could be maybe your welcome emails are being done and you're not tagging the clients and segmenting. So the rest of your pipeline actually never really works properly, or it never kicks off any stage of your 7 stages of those customer life cycles that we teach. And leads just kind of get stuck inside of your funnels. So the fix for this one is before you jump into the tools, get out the pen and paper, and you could use sticky notes on a whiteboard, but map out the actual journey. Then you can jump into the tools and have a really clear idea of what are the triggers, what are the next steps, making sure that there are no dead ends. Now, the third mistake that people also do is they overcomplicate the tech. Now, this can happen when you might try to use way too many conditions in your build. For example, you might have 20 different logic paths that people go down and if-then statements. And you might want to validate that they like your freebie, but then you're sending them off into all different types of offers. When you layer upon layer lots of different conditions, heaps and heaps of tags, lots of actions and triggers, it can start to just be like a big pile of spaghetti, and your automation really just loses the plot, right? So this is a huge problem, because you can get stuck in like what I like to call the builder brain. You're constantly building, but you never actually, set sail with that amazing automation. And the funnel just becomes so complicated, it breaks. Or even worse, it never gets launched because you're just trying to overcomplicate, segmenting this and moving them here and there and all over the place. So the first thing to do is start simple, right? Launch version 1. Keep it super simple. And as we always say, those 3 magical rules: build it, measure it, and then optimize it. Keep it super simple to begin with, and then slowly start adding a little bit more complexity, just a tiny bit at a time. That way you can build it fast, right? Switch it on and then validate it. Then start layering in those complexities. All right, the fourth mistake that people make is forgetting the human to human touch. So lots of people come to me and they're like, I want to automate everything. But don't forget that email address that you're collecting, that there's a real human on the other side of that, real people, right? So no video message or no DM, none of those actually have real life personality, not like you, right? So your emails will start to feel a bit cold or robotic or very generic. And people don't trust bots. I mean, think about it today. Half the time you're watching a video now and are you asking yourself, is this real? Or is this AI generated? Right? And then they lose trust in you. One thing I have not done, even though it's available, is I have not created me. I have not created the avatar version of Sally. You know, there are a lot of big businesses and huge names out there, because there's such this sort of flow of mistrust now when it comes to videos, that people are always questioning, is this the real person or is it a video? And some really big names out there who may have not even been on camera for a really long time are actually starting to show up more as the real human, so that people can start to actually build that trust. Because leads won't connect with you if they don't trust you. And for me, I think that, you know, I'm always pushing people to do a weekly live. One, it's going to create you content, but we can then automate it later. We can take those live streams, we can turn them into podcasts, reels, stories. Even some of the cool quotes you might say can be posts as well, audiograms. So in short, make sure that even when you're building your automation, always add some personal touches. So they could be a little, hey, welcome to the community group, a 1-minute little video, or a personalized message like, go quickly, jump into your DMs, I've got a message for you. And other things you can do if it's, you know, related to your brand is use things like emojis, or, you know, the way in which you speak. So I always call people beautiful humans. You know, there's a human on the other end. You'll see a lot of my copywriting, it speaks like me. And also keep it on brand, right? We're a bit quirky, we like to use a bit of humor. So automation is awesome, right? It can save you a lot of time, but it shouldn't be at the expense of building real connections with people. Automation should just enhance the relationship with people, but it shouldn't replace it. All right, let's move on to mistake number 5. No tracking or metrics. Now, you know how much I love me some sexy numbers. So when you've built it and you've turned that beautiful thing on, and then guess what people do? That's it. They never go back and measure. And then you've actually got no idea who's opening those emails, who's clicking on those emails, or who's moving forward through that customer journey and onto that next stage. Now, without actual metrics, you're literally just flying blind and just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks. You don't know actually what's working, so you don't ever improve it. You never improve it to a point where you can scale it. So an example of this could be, maybe you're running a launch funnel, right? And you get those 3 sales, but you never have an idea of where did those sales actually come from? Which marketing strategy was the one that brought those sales to me? Or even, where were there missed opportunities? Where did people like drop out of the funnel? Where could I improve? So the fix for not tracking metrics is, well, open rates. Check open rates on your emails. The other thing you can check is your click-through rates and also your conversion rates, and also be looking for points throughout your automation where there are some drop-offs, so that you can think, oh, how can I improve that? So a really quick improvement could be just changing a subject line so that more opens happen on that email. And also you can use tags. Make sure when you're building out your paid funnels that you're using UTM parameters that will help you track where the leads are coming from, which ad they're actually coming from as well. And another thing to do is, inside of OmniSam, you can set up a reporting dashboard, right? So you can see it in pie graphs and what do they call them? Column graphs, and, you know, all the different sexy automation, sexy numbers that you can do. And that'll allow you to really see what's going on inside of those funnels that you build. All right, the 6th and final mistake that is going to wrap us on up here today is dead ends. No fallback strategies, right? Or not having what we like to call no dead ends. So if a link doesn't, for example, book an appointment, but they've looked at your calendar, then what? Or what if somebody replies and you don't reply? So you've got to look through your automation and ask yourself, is this a dead end? I was looking through an automation with our builders and they'd done a fabulous job, but after the person had purchased a ticket into our client's online event, it just went to a page that said, thank you. And I'm like, but then what? That's a dead end, right? Then what? What can we put on that page that feels like the next logical step from the funnel that they've come through? What's next? And I said to the team, what do you think? And they go, oh, well, even though they're going to an event, maybe they just want to book a call because they want to jump in and go, yes, right now. So that was a really great idea. So always ask yourself, what next, right? You should never have a dead end in your funnel. Now, not just a funnel, but even in your email sequences. So for example, when somebody opts in, we have a series of 5 emails that go out, and each of those emails are pushing them back to book an appointment. But then what? What happens after the 5 emails finish? So if you've got a business in a box, they will start going into the long-term nurture email. But eventually you're going to run another promotion. And we don't just want them getting the evergreen emails. We then want to put them in what's called a lead return email sequence, so that when you're going to run a promotion, you're actually not just putting it out to those paid audiences where you're trying to attract them in through ads, but you're re-tapping into that list that you've got as well. And not every lead will actually take an action straight away, right? So without a really good follow-up system and re-engagement plan, you're actually going to lose people who might just need a little nudge, or maybe when they first opted in, it was just a little tiny thing in the back of their brain going, I think I need this help. But then in 6 months' time, they're like, oh my goodness, I've been trying to solve this for 6 months, and now it's not a little tiny thing in the back of their brain. It's like, oh my God, I just want to pay somebody to help me get this sorted. And if you don't have those follow-up systems in place and you don't have that re-engagement campaign in place, you're literally leaving money sitting on the table. Now, if you've got a business in a box, we already have those inbuilt for you. So if somebody comes in and is sitting there and hasn't taken any action for 60 to 90 days, they automatically move into a re-engagement campaign. So some fixes on how to actually notice these is, well, first, when you're mapping out that automation plan, have a no dead ends strategy plan as well. Or what you might want to say, a no action path. What if they don't say yes? They don't click that button right now. If they don't click, then send a reminder, right? Or if they don't book, trigger a re-engagement campaign. Or if they go cold and they've been sitting there for a while, assign a manual task to send a DM or pick up the phone and actually speak to them like a human and see how they're going. So this is a huge part of when we build automations. We have 3 major rules when we're building an automation, and we're, of course, mapping it out before we jump into the tools. The first one is always build a fast path. Second, always build a slow path. And then, of course, the third rule, no dead ends. So, from all of these 6 things that we just covered today, which was problem 1, setting and forgetting. Problem 2, not mapping it out before you jump into the tools. 3 is just overcomplicating the tech. Or 4, forgetting the human touch. Or 5, not tracking those sexy metrics. Or finally, not having a dead end strategy, from all of those 6 mistakes, what for you right now, type 1 through to 6, do you see as your most common problem, right? What's your most common problem? Put it in the chat from all of those. Now, of course, I've got to give you a GSD task before we wrap things up here today. And I want you to pick one automation that you already have. And I want you, if it's been around for a while, I want you to click through it as if you were a client. Go through that client journey and then fix it. There might be things that are unclear. Maybe there are some links that are broken, or maybe it's just a bit too robotic and it doesn't have that real human touch to it. So that's your GSD task, is to go and find one automation and go through it through the customer's point of view. All right, so as we wrap on up here today, we've covered 6 of the most common mistakes, and there's a really key takeaway here for you. Automation is going to save you time, right? It is your best friend to help you scale and grow. But if you only treat it like a team, if you don't treat it like a team member and you speak to them and clean it up and test it and, add a bit of the human touch to it, you're building things that are just going to end up being outdated. So a little bit of maintenance and setting yourself at least one day a month to dive into your automation and just check some things, right? That is going to really help you build momentum and make sure that you're not just setting and forgetting. All right, so if you're joining us and you're like, well, I would like to give OmniSam a bit of a crack and a try, then we have the opportunity for you to, well, first we're going to give you some done for you workflows, but start a free trial today. We've got a 14-day free trial available for you at omnisam.com.au. And if you've made it to the end of this, yay you! You've hung on in, and congratulate. Put the word replay in the chat for me and tell me which automation you will be checking this week. And for those of you in the room, come back to me if you're multitasking right now. Which automation are you going to be checking right now? Now, I am going to let you know next Tuesday I'm off to an event, and I'm going to be out of the office pretty much most of next week. So also letting you know, if you're an elite or a done for you client, I'm going to be pretty uncontactable next week. And also, we always do our strategy with Sally, but it will be a replay of one of our more popular, I haven't actually chosen it yet, but it will definitely be one of our more popular replays. Maybe I'll talk to the VIPs and see what they would like. And then what we'll do is we'll let you know what the replay will be. Maybe sales call strategy or something like that, or overcoming objections, which tends to be quite popular as well. All right. So we've got a few people here. Karen is saying that she's going to look at her lead and links around on her website. That's awesome. Joanne is telling us that it's number 2 for her. So number 2, which was automating before mapping. Yes, mapping things out is super important. All right. Now, before we leave, we're going to come across to the VIPs. Who would like to share a key takeaway from today? Joanne, come on up. What's a key takeaway from today's session? Let's hope that the thing works for me. If it doesn't, all right, hang on one moment, my love. I need to be able to bring you up on screen. And why are you not showing? There she is. Joanne, what's the key takeaway for you?
Can you hear me, first of all?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. These things are new and I'm still checking it out. I think, to be honest with you, Sally, before we had OmniSam, I just got overwhelmed with tech, and I didn't really put a whole lot of strategy behind it. And I think I really need to like sit down and do that. Um, I
Yes.
think that will help me in terms of you know me, what comes next.
Yeah, yeah.
And this was really very helpful for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, strategy first, all the way, right? Strategy. I love strategy, and then sexy numbers, because otherwise you're just flying blind. What
Right
about you,
now.
Karen? What was your key takeaway from today?
I don't know if you can see me.
I am
You're
just trying
muted.
to
Yeah, unmute.
find. I'm just trying to find my little button here. It's just because I'm out of the office. Everything goes all over the place. Hang on. There she is.
Okay,
Karen,
there we go.
what's.
Yeah, well, I'm on a different screen, but I felt that today it is a real aha moment because I haven't ever gone back and double checked. I did on my newsletters,
Mm-hmm.
and I discovered that they weren't getting it because I could see the numbers had dwindled quite significantly. So I worked with the tech team and we got that all back up and running again. So that's great. Um, but I haven't really gone back to those automations and the updates for those lead magnets that I put into my website. So I haven't had any interaction with them, so I do need to revisit them.
Yeah, definitely. That's a really good idea. All right. So, just a couple of other little updates, as well as me being out of the office next week. I'm still here today for you. I'll stay until all questions are answered. But we've also added an extra tech session. So, I know we've sent out some notifications about that. So, there is going to be Tuesday through Friday. We still are running Tech at 10. Tech at 10 is running alongside my strategy. So, I'm here for strategy. My time is probably not as well spent just fixing tech things that you could do with our builders. So Tech at 10 will be happening in the Tech at 10 room. But we've also got Tech at 2. So we've got Tech at 10 at Tech at 2 daily. So for all of our elite clients, done with you and done for you clients, then make sure that you do also come and join us in Tech at 10 and Tech at 2 daily, along with all of the other experts. Like we've got copywriting, strategy with me, visuals. Well, I don't know how long visuals will be unless I take it over myself or find somebody else, because, well, Joyce, I think she's getting pretty close to popping that little baby out, that beautiful little girl. And last week she had to cancel because she was in hospital with a few little things. So hopefully Joyce will still be around, but once she becomes a new mum, I think I'll be looking for another visuals person. Also, we've got AI with Michelle. She does a lot of productivity things. We have LinkedIn with John. And we've got sales and sales confidence with Jackie, and there's probably lots of others that I've forgotten. As always, I'm still out there looking and negotiating with a few other companies that I'm trying to get in for you. But keep an eye on the VOZ calendar for all of our elites and done with you and done for you clients, because we will always be updating that. And we thought to better serve you, we'll add that extra Tech at 10 session in. So I hope that some of you will also utilize that Tech at 10 and Tech at 2 moving forward. All right, beautiful humans out there in the big wide world, I'm going to head on out from the live stream and continue working with all of our clients here in the VOZ, or we call it the virtual office space. But as always, tune in every week at 9 o'clock Australian time, Melbourne, Sydney time, depending if it's daylight savings or not. And there is always going to be a strategy with Sally. Well, next week a replay anyway, but I got you. If you need us, always hit us up at support@omnisam.com.au, and the team are always on the other end of that, checking it multiple times a day to help you. And if you've got the app, don't forget the little chat button down in that bottom left hand corner as well if you ever need any help. So as always, never let anyone dull your sparkle. Make sure you get at least one income producing activity done each and every day. And I'll see you around the tracks on the next live. Have a good one, guys. Bye for now.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. Always thought that you were weak, but babe, you're wrong. Yeah, you Better step into the light, just give it a try. Think that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long. And who cares if you might mess it up? You're stronger than the others think. And who cares if you might mess it up? Go ahead and shine, darling. Go ahead and shine, my dear. 'Cause who cares if you might mess it up? Just shine. You shouldn't doubt yourself, 'cause you're a work of art. You should know that you are perfect with those flaws. Yeah, you better step into the light, just give it a try. Know that it's time you let that spark out. You've been hiding in the shadows way too long.